Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the Morning Debrief. It's currently the 27th of October. Current time is 7:52. A little bit of good news out of Europe, but I think we need a lot more. Looks like the European leaders have agreed on bank recapitalisation. The size of the fund's certainly not there. We certainly don't see the conditions that Italy are going to operate under in reducing their debt. And we've got a new player in the market, and that's China. Basically, Sarkozy's asked China to help with the fund to increase it. Now, the 440 billion euro fund, we feel will be increased about 3- to 4-fold. To do that, they'll ask China, and I'm not quite sure whether or not the IMF will be asked as well, but I think you'll probably find they'll be in there somewhere as well. As a result of that, very volatile night last night on the equity markets, but we did close in the black, which was quite positive. And let's just grab those little closes now. And what you can see is Sarkozy said to plan plea to China for EU fund. Quite interesting there. But as you can see, the Dow closed up 1.39%, the S&P up 1.05%, and then Nasdaq up 0.46%, so quite positive. A little bit of surprise there on some of the commodities, but we'll run through those a little bit later. Okay, there we go, just running through some of the news. Nothing to make on the economy side of things. Obviously, there's Greek George having a bit of a hug there, seeing that there is obviously a way out of this problem. Okay, Europe struggles for crisis cure. Yes, we've still got a long way to go. That is a problem. And there, look at that. The US economy stocks advance. We can see that. Durable goods orders help sustain the US economy, which is good. We have talked about the US economy in itself being perhaps better valued than a lot of other economies. In fact, the equity markets, PEs are very solid as well, up around about 11. So I think if anything, that's not a bad thing. Okay, so I think if anything there, the US looks okay. We just need positive news from Europe and probably get a start of a good rally. Okay, Italy does pledge asset sales, later retirement, meet budget goals, all those sorts of things. We still do need to see a little bit more on that. Energy, crude declines as US inventory gain, European debt markets concern. I think it's more to do with the inventory gains, which in my mind was probably one of the keys there. And let's see how that unfolds. I'll just have a quick look at that. Inventories dropped the most, futures fell, we know, supplies rose, there we go, 4.74 million. That's a big number, by the way. It could be just the build for the for the winter, for the winter demand, but we'll really have to see how that unfolds there. Looking at commodities across the board, let's have a quick run. Oh, sorry, we've got the world indices. Righty-ho, the US we've mentioned, all very strong. Europe, mix, obviously very quiet, no changes there, but obviously we'll probably get some for a rally tonight. Local market was up 4,242. Having a look at the general commodities markets, as we mentioned, inventories up 4.74 million in crude oil. We saw Brent crude down 1.74, West Texas down 2.35 at 90.82. On the agricultural side, big move in cocoa, but corn, wheat and soybeans under a little bit of pressure. Good to see cotton back through that 100. I think around 97 it represents a really good buying. Copper strong night, up 2.56%, 350.8. Interesting to note, it had a spike through to 355, failed to move on that, and then she's come back quite aggressively. So if anything there, let's see. But we're still, as in the bulletin we mentioned, we talked about concerns with the copper renminbi loans. So see what happens. Gold strong night, up 1.33% at 17.23. Silver is up at 1.17 at 33.44. Okay, let's have a look at some of the markets. Aussie yesterday, obviously we had data out, the CPI data was a little bit better than expected, and in terms of being lower than expected, that was quite positive. It probably suggested also that we'll get a rate cut coming up. And I think if anything there, the market's taken that as a sign. And the Aussie, as a result of that, came a little bit under pressure. So I think that in itself was, see how that goes. We took on a small short, but if you like selling the Aussie, then it's on a breakthrough 103.50. Now, last night's data, just so you're aware, durable goods were up 1.7%. That was a strong number. Sorry, ex-transportation. But overall, durable goods were actually down 0.8. That wasn't too happy. But anyway, that's not too good at all. Okay, that's the Aussie. Let's look at the local market, 4,246. And just going sideways there. A lot of resistance up here, but once we can clear that hurdle, happy days. And really need to clear through that 4,310, and then you'll see a lengthy rally there of close to about 400 or 500 points. So keep an eye on that one. Looking at gold, gold continues to shine, very volatile, and as you can see, continues to be volatile. And some very strong rallies we've seen in the gold price. 1,600 looks to be a good floor for it now, and we've got good support now at 1,700. So I guess we look for greater prices there. Keep an eye on the bulletin there. Some good demand out of India, which has certainly helped that market. That trend line we're following as well, because it has perked above it. So that could suggest that where next level is around about 1,750. So things are quite good there. Okay, we mentioned that. We've talked copper. We've talked currencies. I think that's pretty much about it. Wheat. Just so you know, we've had some rain in Australia, a little bit of concerns that we will get an increase or record harvest this year. We're coming back to test that level. If it breaks, then we'd probably suggest we should be going lower rather than higher. But these momentum indicators here still look okay. But if it breaks that area, be careful. One of the key things in Australia now is the protein content, which is expected not to be all that flash. And we've also got a La Nina event. So keep an eye on that little guy as well. Rough rice, as we've mentioned there, we expect rough rice to pay out a little bit on the top side, but we think it's just range bound, and 17.30.40 is the top end of that range, so don't expect too much out of that at the moment, regardless of the floods which we've seen in Bangkok and Thailand. Okay, now on the economic calendar, what have we got coming out tonight? And a little bit of stuff in Germany CPIs. That's going to be quite interesting to look at those. Eurozone confidence, you've got to expect some negative numbers there. There's no doubt about it. We've got GDP in the States, pending home sales, etc. Initial jobless claims, they'll probably be the ones to keep a good eye on. So that's pretty much it for this morning's report. We still want to wait for more news coming out of the Euro to see exactly what's happening there, but we've still got a fair way to go. But that's it from me. Happy trading. We'll talk to you later.